Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, first of all, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Azmii Adean, and I am from University of Muhammadiyah, Lampung. And at this moment, I would like to present my answers to the question of introduction to English literature about medieval age. And let's get next to the question. The number one is describe the primary characteristic of Old English poetry, such as alliteration, caesura, and kennings. How do these elements contribute to the tone of themes of a major work like Beowulf? And there are 7 common features of Old English literature. First, ubi sant topos, and alliterative verse, alliteration, and also includes caesura, and comitatus, celadrim, kenning, litotes, and variation that is specific for Old English poetry. Anaya M. Baker, 2023. This time I would like to emphasize or explain 3 of 7 that is alliteration, caesura, and kenning. Okay, what are alliteration, caesura, and kenning? First is alliteration. Alliteration in Beowulf refers to the repetition of consonant sounds at the beginning of words within close proximity, a prominent feature of Old English poetry. Unlike modern English verse, which often prioritizes rhyme at the end of lines, Old English poetry like Beowulf leans on alliteration as its main rhythmic and stylistic device. This repetition not only adds a musical element to the lines, but also aids in emphasizing and drawing attention to particular words or themes. And this is one of the most renowned examples of alliteration in Beowulf, where the bolt of both after battles brand. I got it from the examples.com, and you can also see the link which I mentioned the website. There are 100 examples of alliteration in Beowulf. Okay, and the next one is caesura. Caesura is defined as a break or pause in a line of poetry, and it is the same in Beowulf. The break comes where one phrase stops and a fresh one starts. While caesura was used in ancient Greek and Roman poetry in this way, caesura in Beowulf was used a little differently. Beowulf was written in Old English. Hence, this pause or break in the lines came to break up a droning phrase. Clark, 2022. And these are the examples. Asleep from their feasting, insensible to pain. He was numb with grief, but got no respite. High-born and powerful, he ordered a boat. Okay. And then there is kenning. Kenning is a metaphorical compound word or phrase such as swan wrote for ocean, used especially in Old English and Old Norse poetry. Merriam-Webster, 2025. Examples in Beowulf: seawood, which refers to the ship. On their way to kill Grendel, Beowulf and his men travel on a boat, which in the poem is referred to as seawood, an explicit reference to the boat's material. And back to the question, how do these elements contribute to the tone or themes of poetry? These techniques make Old English poetry sound powerful and emotional, helping to highlight the heroic and moral themes of the story. Okay, and the next question is analyze the portrayal of the heroic code in English literature. Using examples from Beowulf or the Battle of Malden, discuss the values and obligations that define a hero in Anglo-Saxon society. And I got some heroic codes that are bravery, loyalty, honor, and fame. An example, the heroic code in Beowulf is all about courage, loyalty, and reputation. Beowulf fights monsters not only to help others, but also to gain honor and glory. That's how heroes were valued in Anglo-Saxon society. He's loyal to his king and people, even when he faces death. However, his desire for fame also shows the tragic side of heroism. He risked his life for eternal reputation. So, the poem both celebrates and questions what it truly means to be a hero. And the next is the number 4, the question number 4. Hey, Geoffrey Chaucer's The Canterbury Tales is celebrated for its vivid depiction of 14th century English society. Choose 3 pilgrims from different social estates and analyze how Chaucer uses their characterization, tales, and interactions to offer social commentary and satire. And then I have 3 of the most famous from the Geoffrey Chaucer's. And the first one is The Knight's Tale by Geoffrey Chaucer. Okay, the work is the general prologue and The Knight's Tale. And the satire line is Chaucer actually respects the knight, but still gives subtle satire. He's shown as the perfect nobleman, brave, wise, and humble. But Chaucer quietly questions whether such ideal knights truly exist. The irony, the knight fights in many bloody wars yet is described as a true gentle knight. Chaucer may be poking fun at the contradiction between chivalric ideals and the violence of war. Satirical point is even the noblest class hides its flaws under the mask of honor. And the next one is The Wife of Bath. This is also the famous work or poets from Geoffrey Chaucer's. And Chaucer uses humor and irony to mock medieval ideas about women and marriage. The wife proudly admits she's had 5 husbands, twisting Bible quotes to justify her behavior. She claims authority from her experience rather than books, a bold challenge to male scholars. Chaucer exaggerates her personality to make her funny, but the joke also criticizes men's dominance and the church's control over women. Satirical point. Chaucer laughs with her, not at her, showing how society's gender double standards are absurd. And the next one is The Pardoners. This has sharp satire through the poets. The satire is Chaucer's harshest satire targets the corruption inside the medieval church. The pardoner openly admits he sells fake relics and preaches only for money, yet still expects respect as a holy man. His hypocrisy is both disgusting and hilarious. Chaucer uses the pardoner to show how the church has turned religion into a business. Satirical point. Chaucer exposes how greed and hypocrisy can hide beyond holy robes. And for the next question is the question number 5. Explain the conventions of the medieval Romance genre. Using Sir Gawain and the Green Knight as your primary example, analyze how the poem both upholds and challenges the ideals of chivalry and courtly love. Sir Gawain and the Green Knight is a perfect example of a medieval romance. It's full of chivalry, moral tests, and supernatural events. Gawain tries to be the perfect knight, honest, brave, and courteous, but he still lies to save himself. This shows that true chivalry is not about being perfect, but about humility and human struggle. The poem celebrates knightly ideals while also questioning their limits. Okay. Next to the question number 6 is trace the development of medieval drama from its liturgical origins to the emergence of mystery plays and morality plays. What were the purposes of these dramatic forms, and what do they reveal about the religious and social life of the period? Medieval drama started inside the church as part of religious ceremonies. Later, it moved outdoors as mystery plays, retelling Bible stories in a way everyone could understand. Then came morality plays like Everyman, which used allegory to teach moral lessons. These plays reflected the close connection between religion, education, and entertainment in a medieval life. And for the last question, I choose the question number 10, that explain the impact of William Caxton's introduction of the printing press to England in 1476. How did this technological innovation influence the standardization of the English language and the accessibility of literature as England moved from the late medieval era to the early modern period? And when William Caxton introduced the printing press to England in 1417, it changed everything. Books could now be made quickly and cheaply, so more people could read. It also helped standardize the English language, because texts were printed in the same spelling and grammar. Printing made knowledge accessible to everyone, just like how the internet spreads information today. It marked the transition from the medieval to the modern age of English literature. So that's all from me for the midterm exam for Introduction to English Literature. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.